guys, it's Brooke, and today we are going to be talking about two different movies. We are going to be talking about Mary, Queen of Scots, and the Taylor Swift Reputation Tour movie. Body and soul, and all that I've been waiting. You may be thinking, what on earth do these two things have to do with each other? My own mother asked me this, and she hears me talk about Taylor on the daily. You see, Mary, Queen of Scots stars Joe Alwyn, who is Taylor Swift's boyfriend, who I believe is her person who she's going to marry, and they make me very happy, even though there is little known about their relationship, and I had never seen a movie with Joe Alwyn in it. He is an actor. He's a British actor. He's been in a lot of movies within the last like 3 or 4 years probably, but I had never seen any of them. And I went to Scotland in September of 2018. There's a vlog of it on my channel. I will put it in the description. And we went to a castle that Mary, Queen of Scots lived in, and me and my mom got really fascinated with the story, and so we were really excited about this movie coming out, and Joe was in it. This is kind of like a Joe and Taylor video, so I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on Mary, Queen of Scots, mostly my thoughts on Joe and Mary, Queen of Scots, and then I'm going to be talking about the Reputation Tour movie. I'm really not just saying this because it's Joe, and because I went in having like never like really heard him talk, or like I had heard him talk but I had never like seen him in action, I guess. Like I had never seen him in a movie, and I had never watched like a full interview with him or anything like that. I kid you not, I really feel like Robert, who was Joe's character, was the best character in the whole movie. And I know you think I'm just saying that because it's him, but let's talk about this dude, okay? Mary, Queen of Scots, is the Queen of Scotland, and Elizabeth I is the Queen of England, and they are kind of opposing each other, and there's a lot of political conflict going on in Scotland, and Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth I, both in real life and in the movie, is known as being the Virgin Queen, and is known as being, she never wanted to marry, she never wanted to have kids. Robert, who is Joe's character, is in love with Elizabeth, and I personally think that Elizabeth was in love with him too. People disagree on this. A lot of people talk about she didn't want to get married, in a way that she was like kind of a prude, and there are also rumors that she was sexually assaulted as a child, and so that like kind of prevented her wanting to be in a relationship. I haven't really looked into that, and I don't know, like I don't think that Robert was actually a part of actual Queen Elizabeth's life. I don't know. If he was, I don't know about him, but he was a good character in this movie, and I'm talking about this movie. So, Robert wants to marry Elizabeth, but she says she can't marry him, and she doesn't want, you know, she is almost like sacrificing herself for her country. She's like, I must put all of my personal wants and desires away and dedicate myself to my country, not to having a husband or kids. And so that's why I think that she would never let herself be with him, which honestly was not that bad of an idea, because on the other side you see Mary, Queen of Scots, dealing with these men, her husband and another guy later on, and that causes, like, literally the men in her life cause all of the problems in her life. So it really was not a bad idea for Elizabeth to stay out of that. However, Robert was a gem. In the beginning, they're trying to make a deal, Mary and Elizabeth are, and they've never met each other. And I guess this is kind of a spoiler if you want to watch it and you want it to be a surprise. You probably don't want to know about this part. But she can't marry Robert. And so they want an Englishman to marry Mary so that, you know, it all has to do with the bloodlines. So she sends Robert to marry her cousin. And Robert goes because that's what she asked him to do. And he doesn't want to, and it was very sweet and emotional, but he does go, and Mary doesn't want to be with him. The one reason why I think that this is spectacular is because all throughout the movie, a point is made that Mary was considered to be prettier than Elizabeth, and he went over there and he had the opportunity to be with someone, or at least like try to be with someone. She didn't accept the proposal, but he didn't really pursue it. He just kind of went along because that was what he had been asked to do. He didn't actually like pursue her. He didn't try to go after her when she would have gotten married and would have had kids, and is made a point in the movie many times that she's considered prettier than Elizabeth, but he still loved her. He still loved Elizabeth. That was where his heart really was, and I thought that was a really sweet, you know, depiction of that. His best part in the whole movie is when Elizabeth gets sick. She has like sores and boils all over her face, and she was wearing a veil over her face to cover it, and he comes in and no one had seen her without the veil on, but he lifts it up and he makes eye contact with her and he just said, "I'm yours," and it's just so sweet. And I think this was a good movie for me to like be introduced to watching him as an actor, because I high key feel like this is literally how he is to Taylor, which might be an exaggeration and you're probably like, ugh, but like no, like if he's that loyal to Taylor, yes ma'am, okay? Yes ma'am. Like, he was just so sweet and wonderful, Robert was, and I'm like, this is Joe also, and I love it, okay? That's a great movie though, see it if you have the chance. What you should also see is Taylor's Reputation Tour concert movie that came out on Netflix on New Year's Day. I went to the Reputation Tour, which you probably know. I have a whole video about the actual concert where I give my thoughts on the concert, but we're going to talk about it more from this point of view. And I did my 13 Days of Taylor series leading up to seeing Taylor, where I made 13 videos that were Taylor related. It's something that I am extremely proud of, and those 13 videos are in a playlist. I will link the playlist, and I would really appreciate if you would go watch those. If you are a Taylor Swift fan and would enjoy seeing them, I put a lot of hard work into them and am very passionate about them, and I feel like it was overall very good work. So if you haven't seen those, go check those out. But I am talking about the movie. So I'm telling this just basically my thoughts going through the movie. So first of all, when it opens and it says Taylor Swift Productions and it has the picture of her cat Olivia, that picture is just the best thing in the world. I love the introduction video that she has, that's the introduction video to the tour, and yes, I had seen it. I get to really focus in on it when it's in a situation like this where I'm watching the movie, and I've seen the movie 3 times now. And I was so overwhelmed and so excited that I couldn't pay attention to details when I was seeing her in concert. So that's the one thing that I really love about the movie, is I can go back and see so many details that I missed when I was there. I love the opening where it has all of the like news reporters talking about her, and especially the one quote where it says, "Taylor Swift is on top of the world, but did she do some shady things to get there?" And I feel like that really introduces the whole tour as it is. And Taylor Swift as an artist, like, there are bands and artists that give prolific performances just getting on stage and doing a set, and I love that. But Taylor's performance is a work of art within the work of art that is the album, and it accompanies the album in this really beautiful way, and that's something that she's always been really great at. And the visuals and things that she had to go along with it this time just really are wonderful. As I've said, Ready For It is the most iconic opening song of all time. And she has this huge cast of backup dancers, and there's an aerialist, and she has her band and backup singers, but when she comes out on stage to begin with, it is just her. And just her with her voice is so powerful, not having anybody else out there helping her, and I think that is great. I appreciated it when I was there, but I am literally obsessed with the choreography from I Did Something Bad. Literally that entire performance is just like art. Like, everything about it, the movements, the thing where she shakes her hips and like the guys fall down, I freaking love that. Everything about that just blows my mind. Like, I loved the arrangement of it when I saw her live and how she kind of changed it, but just being able to watch it over and over, I'm literally obsessed with that performance. Then she speaks for the first time, and I pretty much cry every time she speaks, still watching it on the movie. I mean, I did in person definitely, but just watching it on the movie I cry too. Where she goes into Gorgeous and she starts saying, I think it's more than beautiful, what's the word? And she does this, and then the voice says gorgeous, and she says that's it. That is the cutest thing in the world. She did not do that at my thing, but I love that part a lot. I feel like she just loves Joe so much, and I feel like in a way her performances are kind of an homage to Joe, and just little details I'll pick out, like there's the line where she says ocean blue eyes looking in mine, and she starts the wave and all of her background dancers make a wave, and I'm like, she had that whole dance done about this one line that's about his eyes. Like, tell me that's not the most romantic thing you've ever seen. It's like she's performing, and it is expressed how much she loves him through her performance. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like there's such a distinct, like, there's such a difference in her now when she plays songs like King of My Heart and Gorgeous, and when she plays songs like Style, who are about, you know, her exes. Like, it's not that she's giving any less of a performance of Style, but I feel like she does not have the same, like, light on her face when she's singing about anyone other than Joe. And I think that's really special. The little part where she says, you were Romeo, you were throwing pebbles, she like makes a throwing motion at her guitarist, and he goes, that's cute. Also, it just like makes me cry when she says, marry me, Juliet, you'll never have to be alone. Because I just want that to be her and Joe. And I just love this transition, how she goes from Love Story and does the thing with the old Taylors, and then she comes back for Look What You Made Me Do. I questioned, and I said this in my concert video, but I had questioned how she was going to do Endgame by herself without the featured artist, but she does it so well, and it's so much fun to watch. And I just love the You Like the Bad Ones to transition between those things. And I like how she says, here's the truth from my red lips, I got a big reputation, and it's just little small changes in the lyrics, but I love it. I cried a lot at the King of My Heart performance because that whole song is just such an emotional roller coaster. But that is another thing where I'm like, this is literally like a tribute to Joe, not just her singing, but all of it. And I'm like, this is like a representation of how she feels. Like, it's like the drums are beating, which I can almost see to be, you know, representation of a heart beating. There are dancers everywhere. It's beautiful. There's all this stuff going on, and so a lot of the time she does do choreography in it, but a lot of the time she's just kind of walking around while all of this is going on, which is actually rather rare for her because she normally is doing some kind of choreo. And I feel like it's almost supposed to represent this thing of all of this is happening around me, and she just feels like she's walking around in it, and she's amazed. And if that's not beautiful, then I don't know what is. And if that's not art, I don't know what is. The speech that she gives before she does Delicate about being scared of having a bad reputation, once again, makes me cry. I love the idea of having the stages in the middle of the floor. And she has Camila and Charlie join her. The little choreography that they have with her, I mean, I know it's simple, but like just like the hip shaking and all of that with them singing their parts, like it's just so cute. Like I just freak out over that every single time. When she is wearing the red-ish, purple-ish outfit with the green jacket over it, and she gets to the guitar and she's playing the green guitar, and the guy, I believe his name was Giuseppe, comes and presents her with the tissue. That is me and my sister's favorite scene in the whole thing, and we now, whenever we hand each other stuff, do that, and we're Giuseppe presenting the tissue. Dancing with our hands tied absolutely gave me chills on the guitar. I'm so glad that she did it in that acoustic way, and to see Taylor play the guitar, I feel like that shows that the new Taylor is not this distant, cold person. I mean, she's standing on a heart-shaped stage with a guitar, flipping her hair around like she did on the Fearless tour, and she's singing a song that came out in 2017. And it's not just because, like, the fans expect, like, they're like, oh, guitar playing, flipping your blonde hair around, that's Taylor Swift. That's her. And you can see it, and she's having fun. And I just think that's really beautiful that she can grow so much as an artist, as she talks about in her speech when she's doing that song. And, but she can still be the girl who's 19. All Too Well obviously makes me cry. My favorite Taylor Swift song of all time. But the part where she says, and I walk home alone, and she stops for a long time and she just looks at the crowd. Tears, my friends. Tears. By the way, can I have her butt? The faces of some of these little girls absolutely made me cry. There was one clip, I know I wrote this note about the faces of the little girls down because there's this one specific shot, I believe during maybe Blank Space, and it's two girls and they're both sitting on someone's shoulders and they're both looking at each other and they're so excited, and that just makes me so happy because that was me when I was that age, and that's still how I feel when I was 17 and I went and saw it, and that's how I feel being 18 and watching it on Netflix, not even being there. Also with Dress, it was a simply beautiful performance, but it was very artistic, and I feel like that was another Joe tribute that was just so... The way she blends songs together in the 3 different mashups that she does is so good, and I just love it so much. And she can have like a literal aerialist flipping around, and then she can come back out by herself and still be killing it, which is crazy to me. Also, just during Don't Blame Me, when the electric guitars are playing and she falls on her knees and she's like dragging the ground, that is so good. And the fact that there's the instrumental in that with the electric guitars, that just makes me so happy. That song is brilliant on the studio album, but it's 15 times better live, which is when you know it's a good song. Taylor sits at the piano, I cry again. And her thank yous to all of the crew, while they might like seem generic to some people, they felt genuine to me and they made me tear up. And the thumbs up from the security guy I thought was really, really cool. He plays the Long Live and New Year's Day mashup, and she says, to me, this is a song that'll always be about you talking to the fans about Long Live. And I felt like that was a really special moment because she did a song about her love for the fans and she did a song about her love for Joe, and she meshed them together, and you could feel the love emanating from that performance. I really don't have dry eyes most of the time when I'm watching this. And then there's just the line where she says, "You and me forevermore" in New Year's Day, and she's talking about Joe, but she's also talking to the fans, and it's just such a beautiful moment. Why She Disappeared will always make me cry, and it's amazing to me how that poem is a part of Reputation without being from a song on Reputation. It summarizes the whole thing so well. Just Reputation itself, the concept, the album, the supporting artwork, poetry, the tour, it's a work and a body of art, and she is phenomenal at putting that together. And the poem, and she has the transition, and I just love, and she, you know, says she came back and standing broad-shouldered next to her was a love who was really something, not just the idea of something, talking about Joe. And it's like she can make references like that, but without it being super, super public what's going on in her life, and I love that she's reached this place. My favorite quote ever from Why She Disappeared is may your heart remain breakable but never by the same hand twice. I love that quote with all my heart. When she does Getaway Car and she adds in the little eyes like from Endgame, that makes me very happy. That's just a good like touch. Like it just blends together. I just love it. Also, I noticed during Getaway Car there is a sign in the back that says The Last Time Motel, and I was like, because I didn't notice that before, because obviously she has a song called The Last Time, and obviously she left the guy in the motel bar, so I just thought that was a clever little thing. Taylor Swift doesn't do coincidences, y'all. She's singing Call It What You Want. First of all, her face she makes when she says not because he owns me kind of makes my life complete, and just, she just looks so happy when she's singing Call It What You Want, and she looks so content. And that makes me really, really happy. I think it just shows that she's the same girl, but she's stronger. And, you know, it closes with the screen that says, in the death of her reputation, she felt truly alive. And I think that's the best way to sum it up. I think the film was beautifully done, and I love it. I recommend both it and Mary Queen of Scots. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Also, be sure to read up on or check out my video about the Alyssa Turney case. I will put all of the details about that in the description. Please take a moment and look at that. That's something that means a lot to me. If you follow me on Twitter, this is my Twitter, I talk about it a lot and I tweet about it a lot, and please, please, please get involved with that. I will link my most recent videos, and yeah guys, I will see you on Saturday. Bye.